My name is Antonia Bentel. I'm in the 10th grade and I go to Portledge School.
Wonderful. And congratulations on being selected for Long Island's Best. Have you participated in this jury competition before?
No, I've never participated.
It's an amazing
It's really amazing
accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that was exciting to get that news.
It was great.
Wonderful. So what medium did you use for your creation, for your work of art?
The medium I used for my creation, I used photography, a typical digital camera, not necessarily point and shoot, more of more advanced one, with a medium lens and a specific f-stop and shutter speed set to the particular time of day that I was shooting.
And can you tell us what your inspiration piece was, as all of the works of art that the Long Island's Best students are creating are based on your experience at the museum? So what was your source of inspiration for your photography?
My source of inspiration for my photography was Tremores by Matthew Spender.
And what made you select that work?
Well, I really loved Mr. Spender's flat cubism of the piece, and I also believe that it really captured a lot of colors and a kind of vibrancy that Spain captures. And since I was planning on going to Spain, I thought it would be a perfect marriage of my artwork and Mr. Spender's.
That is a perfect marriage, and how lucky you got to go to Spain.
I was very lucky.
As your inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
So what was that experience like in terms of using the outdoors and the elements and people and creatures that are walking in and out of your studio at the time?
I ended up using kind of an outdoor studio. I had found this small alleyway close to my family's apartment in Seville, and I was there all day, adjusting the shutter speed and trying to find a way that I could link this street in particular to Mr. Spender's piece.
Was your initial idea to sort of photograph an empty street?
My initial idea was to photograph an empty street and focus more on the shadows and the rather boxy buildings that inhabit at least this area of Spain. I was very fortunate enough to kind of be swayed from that when I saw this really great opportunity.
So after taking some photos of just the street without any people and passersby and puppies, what made you decide that they actually enhanced the vision that you had for taking this photograph in Seville?
Well, at first I was a little frustrated, and I thought with my kind of blank canvas approach, without any people, and so when the people started walking through my viewfinder and the dogs ended up coming in too, I decided that the vibrancy and the movement, the two people walking back, towards me and away from me, and then the dogs kind of a little slightly off center, they really contributed to the overall quality of the photograph.
Are you going to continue your art as you go further in your studies? You're in 10th grade, you mentioned, so you have a few more years before you graduate high school. Do you have any thoughts as to where your creative journey might take you?
Oh, most definitely. I mean, I practice art in so many different mediums, painting, sculpture, drawing, photography. I also recently became extraordinarily interested in graphic design too. So honestly, I feel like there's so much potential for art because you're the one who's creating it. Mm-hmm. So I definitely will continue on.
Do you have a favorite medium that you like to work in?
Currently, I'm not really sure. I really like graphic design because I feel like it can show a juxtaposition of photographs or paintings or sculptures, but regardless. Obviously it has to be a photograph, but also typography is interesting as well, and I feel like that's the graphic design is the art that most everyone will see, whether it's they type a paper or they see in a magazine. Mm-hmm. However, I'm not really sure, because I love all mediums. Yeah.
Well, that's the beauty of art, is you don't have to necessarily just select one, but it's lots of possibilities open to you. Mm-hmm. So interestingly, your work of art is going to be on view at the same time as your inspiration piece. It will still be on view. And how does that feel to have your work in a museum on the same walls in an exhibition at the same time as what inspired you to go out in Seville and photograph the streets?
Well, I'm very, very honored, first and foremost. And when I was viewing the Heckscher and the pieces that were on display, I was struck by Mr. Spender's piece particularly. And as I said before, it's an honor to be in the same gallery as this painting is.
Wonderful, wonderful. If you could describe in just one word what that experience feels like.
Well, I would not really choose a describing word. I'd more choose a noun, which is community, because I'm really glad and fortunate and also honored to be a part of a community of young artists who all have a very, very similar interest, and it's really great and special to be a part of.
Oh, that's a wonderful word, and we are certainly glad that you are part of the Heckscher Museum community. So thank you for your beautiful work.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.